Yo, what's going on YouTube? A little bit different of a video today. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Last of Us TV series on HBO Max. So this show stars Pedro Pascal as Joel. I don't remember the name of the actor that plays Ellie because, I mean, I didn't really look it up. I just know she's from Game of Thrones. But first off, I just want to give props to Pedro and the girl who plays Ellie. Because they're doing a wonderful, wonderful job just for the first episode. Although there's a lot less Ellie than there is Joel, of course, because you have to set it up from the beginning of the game, which takes place 20 years before. I said game, I mean the show. I'm so used to the game. I played it multiple times. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I love The Last of Us. And let me just say, Pedro Pascal, perfect casting as Joel. Like, everything about him as Joel, it's just so perfect in every aspect. Like, even his voice, like, he sounds just like Joel, exactly like Joel. He looks like Joel, he acts like Joel, he sounds like Joel. Everything about Pedro Pascal as Joel, like, you couldn't have picked a better actor. You just couldn't have for Joel. You really couldn't have. As for Ellie, when she was casted, I wasn't a big fan of the way the actor looks. Like I just don't see Ellie looking at her, but that's not always what matters. The performance really is what matters, and she does sound like Ellie as well, which I think that's great. She's doing good for what I've seen so far. She wasn't in it a whole ton, but I think she can really sell me on that performance throughout the coming episodes, because from what she's done so far, she seems like she's going to do a really good job. When it comes to portraying the character of Ellie. I think that what she's done so far directly from the game, it seems to be working pretty well, and I am really buying into her character as Ellie, but I'm not 100% there yet, only because I haven't seen enough of her yet. Does that make sense? That is the only reason. I think they probably chose a very great actress to play Ellie, and I can tell like her voice is there, her acting skills are there, 100%. So I'm excited to see more of her as Ellie. I'm really excited. Now I want to talk about the actress that portrayed Joel's daughter at the beginning. Now she does look a little bit different than in the game, but I mean, obviously it's not a video game character. But I have to say, her performance, they made her just as likable as she was in the video game for being in the show longer than the game, because they fleshed it out a little bit more at the beginning, showing her in school, showing her go to school. Just a little bit extra here and there for Joel's daughter, for storytelling purposes. And they nailed it the same way they did in the game, but I feel like they might have done it slightly better only because she gets a little more screen time than she did in the game. Now, once they get into the video game stuff, when the outbreak happens and everything, it is directly from the game, the scenes. There is a slight difference at one point, in a couple different points. But it goes directly, when the outbreak happens, there's scenes that are exactly the same as the game. Even the camera movements are exactly the same as they are in the game when Tommy, Joel, and his daughter are all inside of the truck. Like, there's scenes that are directly from the game that look exactly the same, shot by shot. They are exactly the same, and that part really surprised me a lot, because when you look at them neck and neck, they are just shot by shot exactly what they should be. And I think other companies that create video game live action adaptations really should learn from the Last of Us TV show, because they really were faithful to the game in a lot of ways, and that's the point in doing a live action of a video game. You don't change, you can change some minor things, but don't change too much. Like in the whole sequence when the outbreak happens, they did change one thing, such as when the truck gets hit that they are in the game, it gets hit by another vehicle, and in this it gets hit by debris from the plane that crash lands, which is totally fine. You don't need everything to be exactly the same, because it's a new experience. It's not the same exact experience. You're getting a new experience from a live action show or movie based off of a video game, and you can change some stuff, but you have to be faithful to the original product. And I think what they did here was absolutely beautiful, shot by shot perfect. And so far, the cast of the show is really nailing it, and I'm buying into the characters. The leader of the Fireflies, Tez. Tez looks a little different, you know, obviously because it's live action actor. But her voice even sounds a lot like Tez. It's like, wow, it's kind of crazy when you think about how well they did in the cast for this show and how faithful they are to the original series. I will say, spoilers, I mean, it's been 10 years since the game came out almost. I can talk spoilers because it's the game to the show, you know, just the first episode and all. But when Joel's daughter dies, it hit the same way it did to the game. Like, it was perfect. Like,
I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
It was so well done. I give so much props to these actors for how well that they acted this performance out. And if I had to guess, when they were casted, they also probably looked at the video game scenes to give them an idea on what they need to do to really make this work in live action form as best as they possibly can. And I really think that they really absolutely nailed every aspect of the video game in live action form. Now, I haven't played the game in a minute, so I do know that they did add some extra stuff in there aside from at the beginning. There's some extra stuff in between in the episode that is not in the video game, which makes sense because I would say this is a little bit longer. It's about an hour and a half episode. I'm not sure how many episodes the series will have, but they're definitely fleshing it out a little bit more. There's also the part where Ellie finds out that, or when they find out that Ellie was bitten before, but that it's 3 weeks old. And I think the way they did it, they portrayed it pretty well as well. It's definitely a little bit different than in the game because the officer that sees them was one that Joel actually had technically knew in the show, that he had talked to before, whereas in the game it's a little bit different. But that worked. It was a very powerful sequence, I will say, because Joel kind of has this little bit of a flashback sort of thing related to his daughter and related to Ellie. Even though he doesn't know Ellie that well, he just kind of had a flashback of this being something similar, like what happened with his daughter. And I won't say what happened, but like, man, like everything about this first episode was perfect. You know, I recommend it. I highly recommend this show to anyone out there. This very well might be the best live action of a video game adaptation. And people were saying that it was, and I was hearing great things. And so I gave the first episode a shot, and it's really good. And if you're a fan of The Last of Us, heck, if you have not played the game, I recommend the game. But if you just watch just TV stuff, give it a shot. See if you like it. You know, I think you might really like it because it's really good. I don't have a whole lot else to say. I just know that I can say the performances are great. The actors are doing phenomenally. The visuals are fantastic. I don't know if there's really any computerized stuff in this episode. I can't really tell other than like some of the zombie sequences, which looked really good. They really did. We haven't seen anything of the clickers yet. I don't know what's practical with the clickers and what'll be CGI, but a lot of the practical and the not only the practical effects, but also the environment. The environment, they really made you feel like you're in The Last of Us, especially the final shot of the first episode when you see everything. It's everything a Last of Us fan would want. And I have to say, because we are getting a God of War live action series over at Amazon, I really hope that that one might be pretty challenging, and I really hope that they crush it. I really do, and I hope they learn from this show to make something really awesome when they do God of War. God of War will be on Amazon and HBO, so I don't know. It's a little bit scary there. But the thing is with the Last of Us TV show, Neil Druckmann was actually heavily involved with this show and its creation. And from my knowledge, I think Cory Barlog is pretty involved with the God of War TV series that's being made as well. So if that's the case, I really hope that when they do God of War, they do it justice the same way they're doing The Last of Us. And really, I think that should be the case for any kind of live action adaptation of a video game, that the creators should be involved. Don't let them not be involved, because that's what ruins your movie or show. You know, let the creators of this stuff be involved, because it's important. It's very important for the creators to give the okay, or have talk to them about different ideas if you're going to change things, or have things that are not completely the same as the video games, you know. Anyways, that's just my thoughts. 10 out of 10, 5 stars, 5 out of 5 stars. Show's perfect. It's perfection so far. Whether it becomes terrible or not, I personally doubt it. We all know where season 2 is going to go, so I probably won't end up watching any of season 2, really. I don't think. I mean, kudos to you if you like the second game. I like the gameplay and graphics and stuff, but story, you know. Anyways, guys, hey, feel free to like the video and subscribe if you're new here. I just wanted to really talk about The Last of Us TV series and my first thoughts on the first episode. I thought it was really fantastic. I thought it was great, and I recommend you go check it out. Let me know your guys' thoughts if you watched it as well. And thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.